Fay Angus on Cannon Drive. When you see a wrong and make it right, you become a point of light. I'm here tonight to address what I consider to be several serious wrongs that need to be made right. A couple of council meetings ago, our Mayor Pro Tem, Don Watts, as well as some residents who spoke from this podium, addressed the need for integrity and decency as we come into the election process for members of the City Council. I completely agree and applaud him for this. Unfortunately, this early on, integrity has already been breached by way of misrepresentation on part of one of the candidates. This was brought to my attention in a flyer that is being circulated through the city. Under his accomplishments, the candidate states he, quote, successfully lobbied for $3 million to cover the cost of recent fires. The truth is that the night of the fire, newly elected Mayor Kurt Zimmerman called a special meeting of the City Council to declare a state of emergency so that Sierra Madre would receive additional firefighting assistance and financial support. He then spoke to Governor Schwarzenegger's office, David Dreyer, Supervisor Mike Antonovich, State Senator Bob Margette, and led the way for our city to get the support it needed. He went 36 hours without sleep in around-the-clock, on-the-spot monitoring of the fire. He exhibited superb leadership and was supported by all members of the City Council and by all staff. Instead of usurping this credit and misrepresenting himself, candidate Mosca would have been accurate had he stated that he was a member of the City Council and part of the team that successfully lobbied for $3 million, etc., etc. The same applies to his listed accomplishment for implementing paramedic services. This, too, was a team effort. In stark contrast, our other council member seeking re-election, Don Watts, makes no such self-aggrandizing claims in his brochure. He gives his qualifications, state what he supports, paramedics, library, Measure V, etc., and that he will fight to keep Sierra Madre the village of the foothills. Also, I'm perturbed that candidate Mosca claims he protected our city from unreasonable development when he in fact was opposed to Measure V. Measure V limits our downtown buildings to 2 stories, and Measure V is what is protecting us from unreasonable development. So to be opposed to that is very questionable. On a different note, at a recent council meeting, Mayor McGilvery and Mayor Pro Tem Watts gave a comprehensive report on the SCAG-COG-related meeting they had attended. The immediate response from Councilmember Mosca was that there, quote, is a complete misunderstanding of the issues. Had he said, I have a different perspective, or my personal insight is, that would be appropriate. But to cast aspersions on the comprehensive intellectual ability of 2 of our most highly respected professional representatives is not only insulting, it's just plain rude. The statement made by the Mayor tonight that SCAG has complied with our insistence to review their figures in our favor, to me proves an extremely capable understanding of the issues, both on her part as well as on Don Watts. This is a strength of leadership that does not roll over and comply to mandates laid upon us, but fights for the right of Sierra Madre and Sierra Madreans. This is the leadership we need to maintain. At that same meeting, 2 council members were out of order, very much so. When asked to respond to 2 simple questions, one had a petulant insistence to belabor and belabor and belabor and go on and on. This happened again when an item was placed on the agenda for a future meeting. It was placed on the agenda. The other council member engaged in aggressive, argumentative insistence to talk and talk and talk right there and then. Enough already. I have the greatest gratitude and thanks for any of you who step forward and who are willing to serve our community and our citizens. But to all of you in the community, be aware of misrepresentation. When you see a wrong and make it right, remember, you become a point of light.